Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 155 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, that's website design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can absolutely help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, which is bbdigitalmarketing.com. You can request a free review of your online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a black belt training out of South Florida. Actually, on the way here, I've been saying out of South Florida for a really long time because of what we talked about before, because I was leaving my school, and I knew before I was leaving that I was leaving, so I would just say out of South Florida. I train very proudly now at Coral Springs BJJ. Awesome school. I've known some people there for a really long time, but never got to train with them because our coaches didn't get along, so I couldn't go like cross-train. But I, again, very proudly train there, and it's been an awesome experience. The guys are incredible. Don't forget to like, comment, download, share, and click that subscribe button. We appreciate all of your support. Joining us today is UFC fighter Talita Alencar.
Hello.
And Jed Dulaney from Beach Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
International Federation.
International as well. So I know that the Instagram says Beach Jiu-Jitsu Federation, though, right? So
it didn't fit the whole name.
So so if anybody's looking for it, it's at Beach Jiu-Jitsu Federation. Yep. And the full name is Beach Jiu-Jitsu International Federation.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hang out, guys. You can jump in. I'm going to do some reads. This is going to be a few minutes, but if you want to say anything or you know somebody, go ahead, jump in. Follow Ben's lead. He's knows what to do. So thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. I got a Flow and Roll shirt on today. Got your 6. I don't want to turn around. There's a nice graphic on the back of this. I'll show you guys later. Hands down, the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business. Visit them on Instagram at flow_and_roll. Check out all the custom designs they create for academies and competitors across the country. Gym owners, you can stock up on your gis and no-gi kits at flowandroll.com. And you get, if you're just going to place a regular order, you get 20% off of your online order with code JJD. And remember, they have that really cool pre-order program. So if you're an academy owner and you need to stock up and you don't want to spend a lot of money, he's got a really great program for you.
I got to say, a few of my students have gotten like Flow and Roll gear from local tournaments. Last time we spoke, you talked about me getting a hold of him.
Yeah.
And so I checked up with them, and all of them have glowing reviews of like the quality and comfort of their stuff.
Yeah, he's been with us since day one, was giving stuff away, and I've never picked up another t-shirt company or a gear company because of that. Like I could have easily got like a t-shirt company and then a gear company or a gi company and broken it up, and I never wanted to do that because the stuff was just great from the beginning.
They're local?
He is up around Sarasota, like a little north.
He's actually by me. I've met him. I've trained with him.
Sean. Yeah, yep. He's pretty awesome. He is like the customer service there is great. I love the designs because it's not always just about like the name. He has like the cool this one's a little bit different for me, but it's usually I like the tattoo style graphics, and then it incorporates like the jiu-jitsu theme into it. So hold on one second. I think I have. So you said you're a small, Talita?
Yes.
So this is an extra small.
Your feet, if you don't have an S.
No, I think I did bring one. Oh, that's my shirt. I put one of my shirts in the box. Oh my god, that's not good. I'm not giving that one away. Yeah, I thought I had a small. That's an extra large.
That's fine, extra
and
small.
And an extra small.
I'll look buff on. Oh, that's perfect. Actually,
Yeah,
that's
right,
look like
you
a
go.
small.
I know myself. I've been selling T-shirts since 2003. I knew. I knew. I said I know her size.
Thank you.
Maybe I had another one in here. Did I have another one? No. Okay.
I'm a small, but I'll take an extra large.
That's a big jump.
You're being serious? I was like, wait a minute.
It'll fit.
Let me put the XL back. And he did Flow and Roll did print those too. So his logo's on the
I
back.
can tell.
He actually printed those for us. So we sell some of ours on. We have a shop on at jiu-jitsudummies.com. We have a shop tab you can go to. We got these hats here too. Got
I like those.
my Friends. You know the show Friends? It's the Friends font.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought I recognized this.
Hold on. So
Now
I got
I've
more
the
stuff.
theme
I got
song
more.
stuck
Get
in my head to Friends.
that is an extra small rash guard. Take that out and see. Right. I think that again. That should probably fit you.
I think it will.
And medium.
Yeah, medium's good.
So the story behind that is I had a heart attack when I was 43.
For real?
I had a heart attack after training jiu-jitsu.
Oh, so this is your logo.
So this is my logo. Well, this is Flow and Roll. Mm-hmm. My logo's on the back. The podcast on the back. So we asked them to design this. So the theme was about having like an actual heart. actual heart, the shaka. Let me show you. I'm sorry. So like the shaka, the heart, little. At the end of the show, we say peace, love, jiu-jitsu. So we put that on the back. So that's very cool.
Authentic.
You designed this with them?
Yeah, their
cool.
design. I gave them the concept, and we went back and forth for a little bit, and they came up with that. So
Nice,
there you go. Let's not leave out Leo Optics. So shout out to Leo Optics, their go-to brand for sunglasses and apparel featuring their unique bamboo sunglasses. So,
Wow.
like wood. Well, I'm gonna get. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna put these on. And I needed to get a small. I got them a little smaller.
Let me see it.
Try those. Okay, they're born in Southern California. Their products embody the BJJ lifestyle that we all know and love. Visit leooptics.com and use code JJD for 10% off your order. Supporters of Academy Safe as well. So they actually, good size?
I'm stylish.
There you go. You gotta leave them off a little bit. They support Academy Safe, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So that's our nonprofit where we're doing the background checks on Academy. So they're actually a supporter there as well. You can visit Leo Optics, or if you go to Academy Safe, hit their logo, you'll go right through to their website. Okay. We are also working with, this is our newest sponsor. We shouted them out on the last episode as well. So Laheel Biogenics. Okay, they're working with Robbie D'Onofrio up in North Florida, around the Tampa Bay area. Rolling every day is tough on the body, but pain doesn't have to hold you back. At Laheel Biogenics, they empower jiu-jitsu practitioners like you to recover faster, train harder, and achieve performance with the power of regenerative medicine, helping athletes stay on the mat and on top of their game. If you're not local, it's not a problem. Schedule a free telephone consult. The process is easy with same-day treatments. So at Laheel Biogenics, their expert team delivers more than just natural biologics. They offer advanced solutions like exosome therapy, prescribed medical-grade peptides, laser therapy, and so much more to keep you performing at your best. Don't let pain or injuries hold you back. Schedule your free in-person or telemedicine consultation today at laheel.com. That's LEHEAL.com. LEHEAL.com. And let them help you get back to doing what you love to do, which is jiu-jitsu and MMA for all of us, right?
Well, I like those ones.
I couldn't imagine, like, I got out of my shoulders hurting from, like, doing a little jiu-jitsu the other night, and then I'm like, I can't complain about my pain today because she's over here getting kicked in the legs and right and getting punched in the face. I couldn't imagine like do you have like a really strong recovery program? Like, are you relaxing and doing recovery as much as training?
Yeah, like my training schedule, it's like very it changes, and we periodize the train a lot, and it changes every 2 weeks, and there's weeks that it's more focused on recovery, and then that's when I do massage, go to cryo, compression boots, like a hot, cold water plunge, red light therapy, all the sort of things you imagine, and it's all like around this area here.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Also down to their field a little bit because we're in Boca right now. But yes, I focus a lot on my recovery. It's very important. But I actually want to try this sponsorship there.
Oh, Laheel, they're up around. Where are they located? They are. I don't want to give the exact
Tampa area.
Yeah,
right?
they're all up in that area. Again, do you know who Robbie D'Onofrio is? There's a group in Tampa whose social media all took off. Matt Arroyo. You know Matt Arroyo, former UFC fighter. He was on one of the Ultimate Fighters. I don't know if he won his season. I'm not sure.
It's
I don't
the
think
Gracie Tampa crew.
It's
yeah.
It's all those
guys. I
guys.
was telling him yesterday about the Tampa crew because he is near there, and I said you should go around there a lot.
So they have a location in South Tampa, Hyde Park, Tampa, Brandon, and Lakeland. Those are the three places they have locations. So they do a lot of posting. They're going to see the episode. But reach out to them. I tell everybody,
Trust me.
if you don't ask, people are not going to sponsor. We put out, for us, like people, other podcast, I like kind of like coach or mentor some other podcasters, and they're like, how do you get the sponsors? And I'm like, I ask.
Yes, it's like selling. Like, and you're a good seller, and so do I.
But the thing was, like, in the beginning, I asked and I only wanted product when we first started. Just give me product and I'm going to give it away. So I'm not asking you for any money. Just give me product. That's easy for people to give. And then 1 year in, my goal was at 1 year, then I would ask for money. 1 year was March, right before COVID.
Oh.
So it's like I'm asking people for money and like the whole world's falling apart, especially, academies are closing, so nobody's selling a lot of stuff. So as anything jiu-jitsu related was hard to get any money from anybody. But then my sponsors that were working with us, everybody said yes. And, it was like, $100 a month, $150, like something small.
Small fee.
Keep on giving me product. We still gave that away. We honed that in. So like if they gave something away, I'd say, don't send it to me, send it to the client. Maybe they, give them a coupon code to your website. Maybe they order more. And now you've got a client, not just me giving them something and then they never go to your website or anything. Mm-hmm. So then that worked. Then we realized, like with Flow and Roll, let's talk about the biggest thing you sell, which was Academy. Like sell one T-shirt or get an Academy to buy all their gis from you. So then we kind of fine-tuned it and it kept on working. But even now, I don't reach out to anybody. I post looking for sponsors. There's nothing wrong with it. Whether you're a competitor, high level or not. Hey, I'm taking on new sponsors if you want to reach out. Every time I post, I get 2 or 3. Not everybody's a good fit, but sometimes it happens. And then like Lahil was just like, hey, we saw one of our sponsored athletes on the show. We'd love to work with you. And here we are.
That's great. It's like you build a relationship too, like when you only get products and, and that's the best way to show how you can work with the brand, and that's when come the next step. You did the best thing there.
There was, oh God, I forget her name. We had somebody on who told me very early on in the pot, like she was like when we were in the 30s. She said she sent out over 30 requests to gi companies when she was becoming a competitor. And she says, I didn't get anything back. Nobody answered me. And then she won a competition. I think she did like a fight to win and she won. And one company got back to her. And she's in Gracie. I know that she's a Gracie Baja. Her parents own a couple of Gracie Bajas. And she can't wear it on the mats in the school, but she can wear it when she competes. So she wear it. But she's like, one wound up getting back to her. But if she didn't send those 30, she would have gotten nothing. So it's just like putting out there. But for me, I hate chasing people. So we post. We're looking for sponsors, or if I have an open category, or if you want something specific, like, hey, I would love to work with a CBD company. Hey, tag your favorite CD company or CBD company in the comments, and that's how I get it. So I don't have to pay somebody to go chase, and people just kind of come to us in a good way. It's not. I'm not being braggadocious. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it. It's how we do it. I don't chase, and it kind of just works for us. And people that watch the show wind up hopefully doing something.
Is that the same way you go about getting guests? It's kind of like, hey, want to be on the show?
We're booked up for 3 months now. We had to cancel.
I got lucky.
We had to cancel. We had somebody that really was rescheduling. But for the most part, it's either somebody comes on and then they suggest somebody they know. But I usually say, hey, put us together and like first make sure that I'm following them so that I get to know them on Instagram, which is where we do it mostly. And then I just make an introduction in a text if I know them and they're popular and hey, want to have them maybe on right away. Sometimes if I don't know who they are, I want to get to know them just on social media first. And I follow and I keep an eye and I'm like, you have something going on. But most people just kind of reach out. But some people like, hey, I want to, like, it's just I'm going to say average, like a blue belt reaches out and says, hey, I'd love to talk about this. And I'm like, all right, maybe let's wait till you kind of move up a little bit, it's better if you're more popular, right? It brings a little bit to the show because we'll get her audience, right? Your audience that follows you. If you're reposting our stuff and collabing, like they're gonna find us, and we're gonna cross promote. You get it, you know what I'm talking about. But and a lot of the guest stuff is just how we knew each other, and she had been on already, and she reached out because she had this partnership with Beach Jiu-Jitsu going on, so we have you here. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, reach out. Let me know when you got something. It makes my life easy. But we're booked out to March.
Oh, awesome.
January, February, March. We're fully booked.
My calendar
March.
is blowing up.
Yeah. I send him an invite every time we're going to do this. So I got one more shout out, guys. If just bear with me real quick. Academy Safe, very near and dear to my heart. Academy Safe is one of our sponsors. I am the executive director of Academy Safe, and our mission. We are a nonprofit whose mission is to help clean up martial arts by advocating for background checks, U.S. Center for Safe Sport certifications, concussion training, great for MMA academies, right? People getting, punched in the head, kicked in the head. And now we're doing those trainings or those certifications for all coaches and staff members at every academy throughout the United States and Canada. All right, so I'm the founder again. I'm the executive director. Rob Ingram from McDojo Life. You guys know McDojo Life? He's always outing like fake black belts. He does some funny stuff, but it's usually like His social media feed has always kind of been reactive to something happen somewhere, and then he's doing a story on it. So Academy Safe is us being a little bit more proactive, doing it before something bad happens, right? So Rob's involved. We've got a Secret Service agent on the board.
Whoa.
Ooh, fancy. So Joe Scargill, he's amazing. He's been doing like a whole bunch of podcasts talking about Academy Safe as well. We want to completely change the way people find and vet martial arts academies by going to our website registry. So right now we're building the registry. So right now we're in that phase of getting people to sign up. And then, within the next few months, then we're going to really make a huge push to then advertise the website and get this in front of people and be that registry or that directory. So when somebody says, hey, what academy should I go to? Well, where do you live? If you don't know somebody, if it's not somebody right around the corner or like right here in Boca or in Florida, we all know the academies here. But when somebody asks me in Colorado, now I have an academy that I can send them to, or I can say, go to the website, type in the address or type in the city and state, and you'll find an academy. So, we're not just doing the background checks, right? In addition, we're doing CPR, first aid, defibrillator training, security cameras, and making sure people have business insurance. I talked to an academy that I'm very close to. They were going to get signed up. They were getting things started. And one of the partners goes, hey, my partner let the business insurance lapse. And that's why we added the insurance, because we know people get it the first year and then they let it lapse, and then until something bad happens or somebody asks for your insurance. So we included insurance and belt and lineage checks. So we're making sure that where did you get your black belt from? So with jiu-jitsu, we've been very lucky because we're kind of leaning on beltchecker.com. So that's been easy. And then anybody outside of jiu-jitsu, we're able to say just, who promoted you, send us a picture, a video of your promotion, who promoted you, give us their email. We'll just check with them and verify. But beltchecker.com is a great place for jiu-jitsu practitioners. If you're not on there, you should go there. We're not affiliated with them. They just happen to be a jiu-jitsu database. It's a really good site. It's the guy from, I forget his name.
I just remember when they first started, I was still teaching out in Bangkok, and I found out about them. I was like, hey, you're a legit name. Yeah. People know who you are a little bit. Get on there. It'll give us a little legitimacy. And yeah, why not? It's
BJJ Globetrotters is the guy that started that. I forget his name. Christian.
I've only ever talked to him online through like BJJ Globetrotters.
He started that, and it's actually they fixed it up, and it's a little bit better. So just you get on there, and your coach can say, yeah, I gave them their belt. You kind of it's like a social media site to verify somebody. So it's really cool. So we have a GoFundMe running on the website. So if you go to academysafe.org, you can donate, right, to help us keep this very cheap for academy owners and their staff members to sign up. There's a GoFundMe and there's a PayPal there that you can donate through. If you want to get your academy signed up, the owner doesn't have to be the first one to sign up. So you can be an academy owner, get your academy signed up. But if you're a coach and you want to get certified, we'll list you. We'll show the academy that you belong to, but we're also going to say the academy owner's not signed up yet. So if you want to motivate your academy to get signed up, you're a coach, just get on there. The back end is run by NBC Universal. They've actually been buying up background check companies and doing this, so it's actually NBC. They're back end called Sports Engine. So you'll just find the Sports Engine logo, click on it. You can just follow the process and get signed up. We're doing a little bit of like a concierge service, so I've been walking people through it so they can get with me. We do a share screen, and I get them signed up as well. So again, it's academysafe.org. And then kind of something that's affiliated with that, we're doing a charity seminar in January at Coral Springs BJJ, my home academy. January 18th from 12 to 3. Mike and Sheena Bidwell from BJJ After 40 are going to run that seminar. They were the ones I just did the seminar with in Costa Rica. And a portion of the proceeds are going to go to the academy, the coaches, and the Academy Safe, the coaches, and the home academy. Okay? All right, that's it. Welcome again, guys. Sorry, thank you for being patient. I appreciate it. So let's talk about Beach Jiu-Jitsu first. Let's talk about that. How did you guys meet? How did Beach Jiu-Jitsu start, and how did you guys meet?
I am gonna let he talk.
Well, those are kind of different stories because the Beach Jiu-Jitsu.
Mike discipline.
But
Come on, white belt. Come on, white belt.
How did we met? How did we met? How did we met?
Yeah, so I reached out to her. I wanted her to compete in the tournament.
Okay.
She's a world champion. She's a black belt, and I want to get the best competitors I can get.
Yeah.
It's a new tournament, so there's some convincing into people trying to get them involved in it. I'd reached out to quite a few people. I met with Talita. This was probably July, August when I reached out to her. She said, well, I can't compete, but I'm interested in the Beach Jiu-Jitsu. She wanted to know more about it. So we started talking about it and how she could help out with the events and things like that. And, you know, for me, I thought there was a big opportunity with her to open up some doors down here, because I knew that South Florida, you know, that's probably one of the biggest areas in the United States for jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So if I want to start a new tournament, you know, that's a good place to do it. This is our 4th tournament, and I knew I needed some help because I didn't know many people down here.
Okay. Where are you from?
Originally, Ohio is where I got my
Sound
black
like
belt.
you're from New York.
Ohio boy.
But I live on...
I sense I hear a little New York in there.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'm from the Tampa area now. I live in the Tampa area on Anna Maria Island.
Okay.
So not far from Tampa. Sarasota is where I train. And yeah, so I reached out to her, and, you know, we started talking about what I needed for the jiu-jitsu tournaments to make them grow. And that's where we just kind of got into talking about partnering up with the events and the future events.
Okay. Where will this, so you have an event happening on December 29th.
Yes.
Where?
Hollywood Beach.
Hollywood Beach.
Fort Lauderdale. Okay.
And you walked in when we were just talking about this. I mentioned to her, I went to a friend's academy, Ohana Jiu-Jitsu in Plantation, Florida. And I let them know, hey, I'm going to be in the area. You know, you mind if I come in and train? He said, come on by. I walk in, and he brings it. He winds up telling me, he's like, hey, we're doing a little competition training. I've got a couple of my guys in this Beach Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, Beach Jiu-Jitsu?
Nice.
Wait a minute, I got Talita and Jed coming. He's like, oh shit, really? Like completely coincidental. So we did like a competition style training for like an hour, and they warmed up, and then the 3 guys there's a girl and 2 young guys that are going to be competing, and we just beat the shit out of them for like an hour, and just like like super intense like drilling. Then we wound up rolling for like just, you know, open rolling for like the last half. I'm like, how are these guys? I couldn't believe how much energy they still had after just like we were doing back takes, back
They're gonna
defense.
need it. They're gonna need it out there in the sand. It's tougher. It's tougher to move in the sand.
I was definitely a little older than those guys, and it was way more tired than I was like, how do you still have energy? How are you defending anything that I'm doing to you right now? Yeah. So they've been practicing and getting up. So it was cool. It was again completely coincidental, but I was glad. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I'm glad, and we're gonna have you guys on. So
yeah, you know, that's awesome to hear. We don't have a lot of competitors for the events. It's new. But the competitors that come, they come to win, and they're tough competitors. You know, everybody that's doing it, I mean, they train on the regular. You know, we don't get too many people asking, hey, I've never trained. Can I just jump into this event? Yeah. You know, or people that say, I've wrestled, but I've never trained at academy. Most of the people have trained. And yeah, I mean, I think the environment just makes you want to scrap a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You know.
Tell me, he told me some things, so I'll ask you so you can explain. So what rule set did you adopt?
So it's submission only. It's going to be 5-minute rounds, 3-minute overtime. Finals will be 5-minute overtime.
Okay.
I think the biggest difference is that if the rounds over, 5 minutes is over, or maybe it's the 3-minute overtime. If the people are still active, if they're still scrapping, we're not going to stop it.
Okay.
You know, we want the submissions. We want them to fight. So you're not going to get saved by the bell if you're in a submission and the timer runs up.
Okay.
We're going to leave it in the hands of the referees, the ring coordinators, to say, all right, it's stalled, nothing else is going on. Now we'll give a decision.
Why Beach Jiu-Jitsu? What made this? Why is this the thing for you? Why? Let me tell. When I was a little kid, I went to Coney Island with my cousin, and that
saw your first heroin needle.
That I love the beach, but I have this thing where you know, when you're walking and somebody kicks your leg and they trip you, I fell face first into the sand. I was like maybe like 12 years old.
The worst.
Like face first planted, sand all over my face. So as soon as I heard this, I'm just like, man, how are you doing jiu-jitsu and the sand in your face and you in the cracks and this is crazy. This is crazy. Afterwards. My mind goes back to back in Brazil they used to do this all the time, right? They used to get in a circle and fight on the beach.
Yeah.
So I mean, why beach jiu-jitsu? Where did this come from?
Well, one, I like the beach and I like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I lived on an island and it's a tourist destination. So I felt like, you know, I wanted something for people traveling, you know, that did jiu-jitsu to be able to do something unique. Mm-hmm. You know, we can go to academies, but sometimes, I mean, you're traveling, you don't know the academy. You don't feel safe, right?
Yeah.
You know, even as a black belt, you don't know if someone's going to come in and try to hurt you, whatever it is. And it's the same old thing. You know, it's jiu-jitsu. You go on vacation, you want something different, special.
Yeah.
So when we started, it was actually jiu-jitsu classes on the beach. I was permitted, and I had to have classes because of the permit. So I had to teach ahead of time, and then afterwards we were drill trained just like we did before in an academy. But it got to where people would just show up and want to scrap. They didn't want to train ahead of time.
Okay.
People would just show up.
No, but you gotta tell the story how it really started. Like, I briefly talked to Milena, his fiance, and she's Brazilian as well. There are two funny things, and I hope I don't lose my thought of mind here.
No,
but
go ahead.
when I was talking to her, and like I saw also they talk each other, she only speaks Portuguese to him, and he looks at her and he understands everything. I was like, how this works? And the second thing about the real Beach Jiu-Jitsu story was something that I'm very ligated to, like authenticity. And he didn't tell me because you know how men's are. They're not going to show like their weakness. And like, you're not going to say, oh, I think this is cute. No. But generally, you're not going to tell a story to be a victim, you know, or to make me feel like, oh, how this is started, because a woman will do this. And then when Milena said, while we were doing the last promo video for the tournament, she said, do you know how really we started this? And I'm like, how? I was like, Jed? She's like, Jed started with an umbrella, a sign, like in the beach, like nobody ever stopped. And I was like, I picture what she was saying, and I was like, oh, really? And she's like, and she kept going with the details, and I was like, and over time, like now we're like in third year? Third year. The third year, and he finally, like, you know, and I in my head, and I went to like, you know, like the whole thing, and I was like, this is a story that he wants to talk about, how he started and why Beach Jiu-Jitsu, you know what I mean? I'm going to move forward for him because
so you got your permit and then were sitting on the beach like with a sign for Jiu-Jitsu?
I mean, I didn't know him. I just moved to the area not long, and I just made up a sign, and I said, hey, you know, like I could have went through making fancy signs and promoting it through Instagram or whatever, social media. But it was one of those things. I already had another business, and I'm just like, I just need to do this. You know, I don't want to put too much thought into it.
What belt rank are you now?
I'm a second-degree black belt.
Okay. And when did you start doing this? So 3 years ago? Okay, so you were a black belt, right? Okay.
Yeah. And so for me, I mean, I just wanted to do jiu-jitsu on the beach. So I knew I had to have the permit. I didn't want to get, you know, have the police out there. It's the United States. You got to be permitted for everything.
What kind of permit do you need for the beach?
So
it's like conducting business on the beach, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have like yoga permits. You see people doing yoga. They're supposed to be permitted. I mean, in Florida and almost anywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
Now the tournament, it's a little different one. So I started and I just put a sign up there, and you know, a sign, an umbrella, and a towel. Yeah. And the towel was a unicorn towel. So it was different colors. And I had all kinds of people stopping up. Some people were like, oh, jiu-jitsu. And other guys were like, oh, why do you have that unicorn towel? And I'm just like,
it's a towel?
It's a towel, yeah.
Well, I can imagine if they see a unicorn towel. And did you say rainbow?
Yeah.
The rainbow, you know what people automatically assume with the rainbow.
It's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so I've got this
We's about to get down.
And I'm saying, let's roll around in the sand, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't get a lot of people. I don't know why. But you know, slowly it built up, and you know, I would be training, and I'd have friends that I came with and trained, and eventually it just became to where people in the area knew about it, but it wasn't, you know, advertised everywhere. So they just knew me. Hey, that's the Beach Jiu-Jitsu guy, and they're saying, "We'll go train." They'll drop in like an open mat.
Yeah,
you know, and sometimes it might be a 300-pound, you know, dude, and I'm a 150-pound black belt, and I had to be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, so it got to be where, yes, it was a class, but it was really competitive.
Yeah.
You know, that 300-pound purple belt, now he wanted to see if he could tap the 150-pound black belt, and I had to be ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm literally running every day before training on the beach barefoot to make sure my cardio is good, because I didn't know when that 300-pound purple belt was going to come. You know, so I knew I wasn't going to out-muscle him. But maybe my cardio would be a little bit
we've probably all seen, like, my mind went, when she started to explain this, my mind went to, you ever see like the wrestler
Yeah.
Like, take me down, win $100 bucks.
yeah.
That's what I thought she was going to say, that it was something like that. Like, here's a sign, like,
because they
tap
might-
me, win $50 bucks.
It wasn't intended to be that. I mean, I really wanted to do jiu-jitsu on the beach, and I wanted like a structured class, but I wanted something different. You know, I've trained jiu-jitsu 16 years. At the time, it was 13.
Yeah.
You know, you get tired of being in an academy all the time. You want something different. And also, you see the academy, how it develops. Jiu-jitsu develops in academy. You know, the academy is great because it's safe. It's matted. You can train hard. You can train 100%.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
But it takes away from the self-defense aspect sometimes. You see people doing things they wouldn't do in a self-defense situation, going berimbolo, going turtle, you know, things like that. And the beach jiu-jitsu, we're not punching each other and kicking each other, but if you go to your back, you know, it's a lot more of a risk. You know, if you get trapped on your back, it's going to suck a lot more.
Yeah.
If you go belly down, it's going to
be
suck
so
a lot
hot.
more.
The burn.
Not just the hot. Imagine.
So Hollywood in December.
I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
Not
It'll be
going to be
cool, yeah.
amazing.
If you're doing a
Still
tournament in March,
Well, July,
September,
all of our tournaments were in the summer.
Oof.
Florida, 4th of July.
90 plus degrees on the beach, 100, right? In the
The guys
sun.
all said, they said the problem's not the sand. They go, the problem's not your opponent.
It's the
It's the sun.
Yeah.
And what you would see is in the matches, you would see the guy on top. He's just winning. You know, he's dominating the guy on bottom. But here, the guy on top, the sun's just sucking the energy out of him.
Yeah.
And after 4 or 5 minutes, now he's tired. And the guy on bottom, he was in the shade the whole time.
Okay.
And now he's got energy, and he just reverses out of it. And
Yeah.
he's got energy, and he wins the match.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
are you
I
doing
mean,
gi and no gi?
No,
it's
just
all
no-gi. Just
Okay.
no-gi.
with what it does is it makes you think, oh, okay, I'm not going to go belly down. I'm not going to go to these bad positions because now they're worse, right? The other thing it does is it makes you aware of your environment. Like, you're not just thinking about your opponent and saying, all right, he's going to get the underhook. Now you've got to say, okay, he's going to get the underhook, but my foot's not comfortable here. You know, I can't just slide out. I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to shrimp out of a position
No.
the way you would in an academy.
Do you find that the new age jiu-jitsu doesn't work as efficiently in sand?
Yes.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile is seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
Today we're at Gracie Trinity. It's my jiu-jitsu academy. I've been training here for probably about 20 years now. I had a very significant tear when I tore my UCL, but I said, hey, let's go see if we can fix it. They did some stem cells. That coupled with some laser treatments, the stem cells, man, this is the best my arm has ever felt. It actually feels better than my right arm does now. If you're looking for something to try instead of surgery, and it's an option for you, I highly recommend stem cells. They'll get you right, they'll work everything out for you. And Laheel Biogenics is the place to do it at.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Okay.
Yes. And
What do you define as new age jiu-jitsu? More like the leg
Well,
lock
I mean,
stuff? Like
it's hard to
waist down.
It's hard to speed pass if you're stuck in sand. It's hard to berimbolo if the ground underneath you is shifting.
There's no
and
guard
moving.
pull. There's no
yeah.
guard
I've watched one black belt and one brown belt. You know, they go to shoot a takedown, and just the ground comes out from under them. They slip a little bit, and they almost lose position. So
That's
even
what
shooting,
I was gonna say.
you know, when you think about a self-defense situation, you know, whether you're in the grass or a parking lot or something, do you really want to shoot a double leg? You know, is that your favorite takedown that you're going to do? I would prefer a body lock takedown. I don't
Or a
want to bust.
single.
I don't want to bust my knees on the ground.
Okay.
You know, and you can shoot a double leg in the sand. You can shoot it in the grass or wherever, but you're going to notice the difference. You're going to notice it's slower. You're not going to slide across the mat. And I think that's what's important for people to understand with jiu-jitsu is, yeah, it's very effective. It's one of
Okay.
the best martial arts you can train, I'll say, for self-defense or anything. But the academy is different than if you were to have to take that into a real-world situation.
All right, so let's try to get some people signed up. What do they have to do if they want to get signed up? If somebody wants to join you on December 29th,
Yep.
And compete, tell me about guys, girls, weight classes. Give them as much information as you can. So people that are listening, we have a heavy presence in Florida, obviously, because we're here. But people, really, we've got listeners all over the world. But for the people that are down here and would be down here at the end of the month, tell them how they can sign up and who you're looking for.
Yeah, so it's the registration's on smoothcomp.com,
Okay.
where most tournaments are. We put the registration there to make it easy. If you're a higher rank, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, message me first.
Okay.
The registration's $85 for the colored ranks. Black belts, it's free. As far as divisions, we're doing beginner, white belts, intermediate, which would be blue belts, and advanced. We're trying to do the advanced for the males is purple and brown belts.
Okay.
And then the black belts, they'll have their matches, but we want to match them up with the black belts first.
Okay. So quick. Tournament, or are these considered like a super fight? Is it tournaments and brackets?
Yes.
Smooth comp brackets, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
so you could have multiple matches. This isn't a super fight. We're just matching two people up. No,
Not yet.
tournament.
Not
Okay,
yet.
tournament style.
So the idea with this is if we get 8 competitors for a white belt division, blue belt division, we've got light, medium, and heavy. We're going to give them a $250 prize money, and they get a medal.
Okay.
The advanced divisions, it's a little more prize money. It's $300, and then we've got the championship belts. We've got some kids divisions. We've got young kids, 7, 8 years old, 9.
Really? Okay.
This will be the first time for that. We've got some teens, 13, 14-year-old, 15-year-olds. The last tournament was the first time we had the teens, and they put on a show. The young kids nowadays, they're technical, they're
Sure.
good, and they come to win. They scrap.
Okay.
And some of the best matches we've had out there were the kids. So we added more kids to this one. At first, I didn't want to add them. I didn't want any kids to get out there and maybe they never competed before and start crying
Kids
or
in
something.
South Florida are
But these kids are
insane.
they're jiu-jitsu. They're so good. They're so good. You watch them.
Yeah.
It's hard to see it, not to see it. So we've got the kids divisions. We're doing advanced with the kids. We want kids that have competed before, the gray belts, the yellow belts, not
Okay.
just the white belts. The females, we're doing the advanced divisions. Right now we've got some lightweights. We've got a heavyweight that we'd like to get a match for. So we're looking for a match for a black belt female world champ. We're looking for matches for brown belt and black belt female advanced divisions.
We actually have 2 female world champion. Annie, Anna from AOJ. She used to be Fight Sport. And we have Larissa from Brazil as well, but they live here in Florida. She's also a world champion, multiple times world champion. But I'm sorry to interpret, but what you're asking about super fight, it really depends. As far as super fights, we're not doing with the color belts, but we are doing with black belts because we really depend on the number of the black belts we will have. And if, like he said, if we do not have 8, we're going to do super fights.
Okay. So you just match them up, one match.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And near the weigh-in, we really depend on that. And we're doing queen and king of the beach and
Okay.
have the bouts,
So what will that be?
Each other?
Go
The
ahead.
king and queen are battle. it out?
Yeah.
If they feel the need, if they want.
So
it's
what-
a battle for dominance.
How do they get king or queen of the beach? Was that
So
just the
the
black
winner
belts?
of the division. No,
Or-
it's not going to be just the black belts. What I'm going to do is allow the winner of the advanced division, the purple and brown belts, to go in for that king of the beach.
Okay.
And then just like any brackets, the black belts, they're going to have to move on to the next round. They win their match, and then they get entered into that king of the beach.
Okay.
Then the king of the beach has a separate belt that says king of the beach, and same with the queen of the beach. And then it's got an additional $200 prize money. So if they win right now, that's at $500 in the championship belt.
Okay.
The females as well, but there'll be separate belts for the advanced division. The king of the and queen of the beach belts, those are separate.
Okay. Very cool. You got anybody that you want to get signed up? You got any kids in your academy?
Listen, I can't be in the sun for more than like 7 or 8 minutes. So I can't do
Don't you worry.
We get you one of those big straw
dude,
hats.
I have one.
I'm responsible for this. I became his partner for this edition to innovate the event. So I'm looking those small details that, as far as like everybody feel that controversial. The first is like the mat. It's like, it's true. If you want to do self-defense, you got to take off your head. Like, you got to wrestle and go on the beach, okay? And the second, we're going to do like some bungalow so you guys can rest. Going to have a hydration spot. You're going to be constantly hydrated, you know? I'm going to put like I'm going to go to Home Depot and I'm going to create all days and put it like
So
some
like you're going to have some tents and stuff.
water.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The plan, we're going to have a VIP area so you can sit comfortably or lay down there, but with a shadow. So, you know, so you don't stay in the sun very long. And I'm going to be working with me, his wife, and put it like some scream stuff. Don't worry, guys. It's going to be fun.
Are you going to see you in a picture with like, white with the white on your nose?
Maybe
like,
an umbrella.
You remember that guy?
Are you that guy?
No.
Are you that guy with the white?
You remember the guy who'd wear the bodysuit, the green suit, full head cover? I would have to be like that.
Yeah.
I will burn through clothes.
Yeah.
So do you guys have special rules for like when sand gets in someone's eyes?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah. So, I mean, sand does get in people's face and their eyes. We've never had anyone quit a match, had to just not be able to compete for it. You prepare for it, you know, just like an eye poke or something. You give them time. We've got water bottles. We rinse it right out. If it gets to the point where, you know, they just can't see and it's affecting them, we'll say, stop. We rinse it out. We dry it off with a towel, you know, to make sure it doesn't pack on there again. And we get them going. The only time we've had really issues with the sand just coming back was the last event we did unlimited time. And we had some black belts going at it, and they were going for over 20 minutes. So they were sweating, and the sand just kept piling up on them. But they never had to quit because it got in their eye. We just we stopped it a couple more times, rinsed them off, and had them keep going.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was they were going for about 20, 25 minutes, and they wanted more of a break as well. So, but we've never had a match, you know, like I said, we've never had a match stop. And, you know, we've had, like I said, the kids, they'll come in and they don't say, well, what if I get sand in my eye? I don't want to do, they're not, you see the competitors that aren't worried about and they just come to win, and it doesn't ever affect them. They just go and they scrap, they go at it. They know there's sand falling. They close their eyes and they go at it, you know? And then you see the competitors that maybe they probably won't do the event ever again, you know, but they're just fighting to get through it and survive.
Okay.
So the people that are really into it, really want to win and just compete, they seem to power through it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
When he came with this, when he offered me to compete, and I was like, I don't know if I'm competing in other tournaments that I prioritize that was Penn and Nogi Worlds. So, by the way, I didn't go Nogi Worlds because I have to come here. So I was like, I'm gonna
for
put
us
in
for this.
For
My God.
For real, I'm signed.
I'm
if you
honored.
go in my division and they're like public, that I'm gonna be there. I'm not. And I was like, do I want to compete this, or should I just host the event? In the beginning, when he initially like offered me, I was like, I don't want to compete, but I see this as an opportunity. And in my head, when he said Jiu-Jitsu on the beach, it came the beginning of Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil when the Grace went to Japan and they studied Jiu-Jitsu and they created the BJJ, you know? And you see most of, before they do the first commercial, it was all of them in the beach, make a big circle the same way we do in the beach jiu-jitsu, and they fight. They put people to fight, and they're not punching each other, they're grappling, you know what I mean? And win the best guy, you know? And it wasn't a problem the sand at all. They want to fight, and that's, for me, like, I want to bring the genuine story back.
Sure.
Even when
that's my mind went to that immediately when I'm at Beach Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, oh, this is the, you know, the we've seen the videos, like old videos of I think there's one of Hickson, there's like Hickson fighting on the beach and everybody circles up. I mean,
Yes,
You know?
it's a good like backstory. I think it does reinforce the self-defense, like we said, and it also controversial because now jiu-jitsu, it's a very comfortable area that you can sit on your butt and just play and do the new generation Brimbolo inversion, Z guard, and all the things that you really do. But you gotta able also to wrestle up if you do this. You know what I mean? And when we did the first commercial, it was funny because I went to Hollywood Bit thinking that we were gonna do like this first commercial of the Gracies. I don't know if you guys ever saw the guy. They're in the beach and there's two guys and there's a guy with a girl, and the bigger guy came and took the girl from the guy, like kind of bullying him. He was like, I'm taking your girl just because he's a big boy muscle. And the small guy that was with the girl, he didn't understand it. He's like, oh, I can do nothing because the guy's big, you know what I mean? And later on, he came, he found the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, the guy with the gi behind the front desk, and he signed him up, you know, showing. And then he come back to the beach, and this same guy was sitting with a friend on the beach, and the small guy pushed him an armbar, fly armbar, you know? I was like, and this is an excellent backstory, you know? And instead of this, we got there, and I had this idea in my mind, and we're gonna do this, and we're just gonna like reinvent the story. And he's like, no, you're gonna take him down. I was like, what? I was like, I'm not even ready for this. I was like, no. Like, I don't want to do this. And they're like, come on, it'll be cool. I was like, come on. And he's like, no, it'll be funny. And that's what we did. And
so you reversed the roles, right? It was you being the protector.
I wanted it like a Family Guy episode where he fights the chicken. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. You know, that's what I wanted. I just wanted an episode where they're fighting and it kept going. But
let me ask you about the logistics of the fight area. I'm trying to wrap myself around. I've seen some of the videos, but I can't think of it right now exactly how it is. So, right, do you create a ring and it's loose sand, or do you try, like, if you wet it, it packs down? You know, like when you're a kid and you go to make a little castle and you get far enough down and it's a little bit more wet under there, so it's more packed. Is it just loose sand? Do you like what is there an edge of a ring? Do you have something that goes around?
Edge of a
do you
ring.
just do it with your, like, just put a line with your foot? Like what does that look like?
You know, in the beginning days, you know, we just made a circle with our foot.
It's the beach. It's gonna, no matter what you put there, it's going to get moved.
Right now, we use like a pool type noodle, a pool noodle, and it's padded. It's padded all around it, and we can make the competition areas as big as we want. We've had it at 25 feet because it allows people to go, and then they're not constantly going out of bounds.
Yeah. So is that loose sand there, or do you can dump water on it and pack it down?
So
or like
we rake it. So we go through with the rake, and that way it does loosen it up. But we don't pack it down. Like I said, it doesn't. At least the sand where we were at before, it doesn't stick a lot unless it's wet. You know, you get that sand wet, it might stick a little more.
So you're not really close to the water. You're kind of
not a hard sand, more fluffy sand.
Yeah, we're on the flat part of the beach before it goes down into the water.
Okay.
So where on Hollywood Beach are you? Are you over by the restaurants and stuff?
In front of La Therese. Mamacita's restaurant and La Therese. Yeah, it'll be right in front of there. It's not a big area when you look at the depth of it. So it's right on the boardwalk. We could have done the event at other beaches, South Beach. We picked Hollywood Beach because of its location on the boardwalk. We can have people walking by, and the tournament's 15 feet away, 20 feet away. And one of the reasons that we do the event, it's jiu-jitsu on the beach. Yes, it takes it back to self-defense. But it's really also putting jiu-jitsu in front of the public in a way that it's never been done. People know about jiu-jitsu tournaments, but how many people that are not involved in the jiu-jitsu community ever go into a tournament and watch it?
No one.
No one. People talk about it. They talk about the academy. You know, maybe your mom or your aunt sees someone pull guard and they start laughing. That's jiu-jitsu. That's jiu-jitsu. Like, why are they sitting down? The beach jiu-jitsu puts the jiu-jitsu in front of the public in a way it hasn't ever been done. Now you've got people that may never even have seen or heard about jiu-jitsu possibly walking by with their kids and saying, what's that? And now they see it and we've got their attention. The other thing is, you know, with it being in front of the public, I mean, it's it creates a better image for jiu-jitsu, I think, is what it does. People say, okay, that's what it is. Now I can picture it. It's not just what I see on TV of Karan Gracie pulling guard and getting knocked out, or some guy pulling guard. You know, these are things that I love jiu-jitsu, but these are the things I don't like about it. You know, I love to have fun in the academy, but it's a chance for people to test their jiu-jitsu in a real environment. You know, what would you do in a real environment versus what would you do in an academy, or what wouldn't you do in a real environment?
In my view, I want to wrestle.
Yeah.
I want to be on top all the time. And I'm picturing MMA, like, I'm going to be here heavy. You're going to try to half guard me? I'm like, I come for half guard gym. I come for half guard gym, stay there. I'm going to stay there all day. And I'm like, for real, I'm thinking about elbows or something like this, choke him. But I was like, I'm not going to take down. My ass not going to come out of here.
I mean, Kron is a great example of that. Like, you know, what did he try to jump guard, get slammed to the mat? I don't know if that dazed him a little bit, but immediately with the elbows, it's, I mean, you know, we have a fighter here. We know that it's a different world. I think, half guard itself wasn't like, was that an acceptable position? That's an acceptable position in jiu-jitsu, right? We feel like strong there. I love the lockdown from there. You know where I come from. He does the lockdown. We would do lockdown for like months at a time. So I love being there. But immediately, as soon as it's like, okay, let's throw punches, if I have your leg, I'm in a lot of trouble.
If you're in half guard in MMA on top, fantastic. It isolates the hip, makes it harder to do stand-ups and stuff as long as you control the underhook. Yeah. But jiu-jitsu-wise, it's pretty even. I like playing half in jiu-jitsu.
I love it.
Me too.
It's my game.
But
saves my life.
MMA, like, it has its perks. You know, on top, you can control the hip, posture up so you can throw bigger shots. On bottom, you have access to your wrestle-ups and you can still hide your head. Deep half, absolutely not. Don't do that.
Just for
deep half for MMA?
For
MMA,
My season of The Ultimate Fighter, one of our teammates came out and he tried to work deep half on a guy who wrestled for Wisconsin. And he just cupped his head and beat a hole in his face for 5 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
Just if it's not a quick sweep to reversal, no deep half.
So, like, for me, I haven't traveled a lot for jiu-jitsu, but I've traveled and been going to more gyms this last year.
I did a lot.
You know, I just went to a retreat in Costa Rica. I'm training at a friend's gym now. Like, I go once in a while. And even when I have, like, people come in, like, I love the half guard. I love the lockdown because usually, you said something before, like, when I go into a gym or somebody comes to visit, I hate being the first round. If it's, you know, when we've done fundamentals or we've done like a move of the day. I don't like rolling with a stranger until I've seen them roll at least once to get an idea of what they're going to. I'm older. I'm in my 50s. I'm not, I have to go to work tomorrow. Yeah. Right. And if you're going to be crazy and you think that this is like competition class for your next tournament, I've got to know that because I've got to make. So for me, the lockdown, that half guard into lockdown is my way of going, okay, let me see how you're going to react to it. The crazier you react, the happier I am that I've got you in the lockdown and then I can play from there. It's usually like my way of kind of testing you out to see what you're going to do. Lower belt, I might let them out. Okay, they're not going to be spazzy. A black belt that's coming in and like, again, thinks he's, you know, coming in to beat up everybody in this open mat that he showed up at. I want to know. So usually the lockdown gives me a little like a litmus test, like how crazy or how hard is this person going to go?
It allows you to get control until you establish what the match is going to look like.
Yeah.
You know, and I think similar to like a gi versus no gi. I mean, you get control, it slows things down, and the lockdown's great for that. You know, but it works in beach jiu-jitsu. It works in self-defense situations and MMA situations. But do you want to go there in those situations? You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think the beach jiu-jitsu says, all right, I could do that, but do I really want to? If you're in an MMA fight, now the guy on top looks at that as half mount, you know? Like he said, he goes, I just block his head and start pounding his head in. Yeah. You know,
it's complex because there's lockdowns that you block the knee behind the hamstring. There's no way this guy's going to get out of there. He's going to be locked, you know, if you go more specific. But now, if you got a guy that does MMA that like to be on top, like, if somebody put me in a lockdown, I have ways to free my knee very quick. You can go even like a deep, and with all the respect for Eddie Bravo, like I was a purple belt. I went, I love Eddie. I love Eddie. I was a purple belt and I went to visit Eddie. He tried to lock down me. I went to mount and he was like, he's like, do you want to fight on my event? And I'm like, hell yeah. You know, but I love lockdown, just to be on top of it. There's guys that have excellent lockdowns that you feel your knee's going to pop your knee right there. You know what I mean? So it's very complex.
No, that's me. No matter who I'm rolling with, at least one time I'm going to be trying to get that lockdown. I'm going to pull guard and I'm going to get a lockdown at least once in a role, in my training role.
Have you met Clean?
Clean.
Dustin
Is
Dennis.
that somebody's name?
Dustin what?
Dustin Dennis.
Yeah, Dustin. Yeah, I've never met him. What are you saying, Clean though?
That's his nickname.
His name is
That's
Clean?
What he's known. Yeah, Clean. Because when he started, he was very big and bald, so they said.
So
he
this
looked
is
like
the
Mr.
same guy
Clean.
that's kind of made a fool out of himself on social media. Dustin Dennis.
Yeah. What foolishness has he done?
Dennis is different.
No, you're talking about Dylan Dennis.
Dylan Dennis.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dustin Dennis.
Oh, Denise.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so he uses lockdown and he's turned it into a submission he calls the terror lock, where he uses his lockdown and just snaps your ACL.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he cuts
that's
the
what I'm
angle and
saying,
blows
yeah.
your knee apart.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
nasty.
monster.
I'm going for if I'm going to do the lockdown and I want to if I want to slow somebody down, I get them into the lockdown. If I want to get into the submission, I'm usually going into the electric chair. Just to, it depends on how hard it's going to be for me to get there. But if I can, that's what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually again like if the spazzier they are, the quicker I'm going to go for it. I'm like, I'm going to slow you down. I'm going to make you realize that's not the way we're going to roll. Somebody who I'll be a little bit more respectful of somebody who's like going to take their time with it. Okay, I'm not going to just,
Of course.
try to. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. I got to see that. I'm going to have to look that up. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to pop anybody's leg.
Yeah.
But I'll immediately, like a lower belt, I'll immediately tell them like, do not backstep. Don't back. If I've got your left, don't backstep because you're going to pop your own knee. And if somebody goes really quick, I'll let it go.
Yeah.
I'll like, go ahead, I'm going to let you go because it's going to. That's how.
Yeah. There's no point.
Felipe popped my leg like that.
Yeah, but
that was my first ACL. I was out for
Felipe
COVID.
has very good lockdown because he adjusts based on his injuries,
Yeah.
But I developed like a called windshield defense there. When somebody try to lock down, you windshield pop your knee out. You go knee slice. Windshield pop up, go knee slice to the opposite
I think I know
side.
what you're talking. So if you're trying to go to the lockdown here, I tuck my leg under when somebody tries to do me. I wind up sitting on my leg. So they can't
that's
straighten
one
it
of
out.
the defense.
I immediately kind of windshield wiper
No,
under me.
I kind of sit through and pop.
Oh, okay.
I take my knee off. So like even with Eddie days, he was trying to lock my feet, and I'm like, I have advantage because I bring my knee to my chest, and I'm tiny, So it's not so easy to lock me down. But I did train with bigger guys, and it's not a competition because I'm a girl, But it's good to train with somebody that has excellent half guard that they'll try to lock down, and I can see what's the best I can come out of there,
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely feel that lockdown, it is challenging, but it's not so hard to get out.
Okay. You have to know. You have to train it though. You have to train it a lot. I know. I can immediately. I can see how somebody reacts. I'm like, okay, they understand the lockdown, and maybe this isn't the thing that I'm going to play with them.
Mm-hmm.
But most honestly, like. Nobody trains it like we trained it there because, like you said, he had a bad back, so everything was about pull guard, Z guard, lockdown, like a million different sweeps from there, like let go of the lockdown, scoop the leg, like twist their leg that way. That's how he popped my knee in a defense. So like, yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, it's very I'm talking to coaches and black belts here.
Yeah.
I'm preaching to the choir.
Jiu-jitsu doesn't work.
Yeah,
in the streets.
No,
It just
not at all. No, not at all. Yeah.
And I'm glad you agree because no jiu-jitsu, boom.
The thing is, I say, like, when I see those arguments online, oh, jiu-jitsu doesn't work on the street and all that BS, I'm just like, okay, so when was the last time you actually got into a fight? Like, since I trained jiu-jitsu, I've never gotten it. I've had fights before. As an adult, stupid me, starting, getting...
As an adult? Like, outside?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I beat the shit out of somebody on New Year's. I was in the bathroom at Passion nightclub in the Hard Rock. I was in you know Passion?
It used to be at the Hard Rock.
No, it's a club. It wasn't a strip joint. It wasn't a strip joint.
He doesn't know he's new in
So
the Florida area.
There was a good spot.
I go to the bathroom. It's New Year's Eve. I'm with my girlfriend. I go into the bathroom and a couple comes out of the stall together. They obviously like went to do some blow. They come out of the thing. I go into the bathroom. It's a unisex, like they had like a unisex bathroom outside. So it was way back before it was cool to have like a, boy-girl
Blow
bathroom.
was still cool.
And when blow was so cool. They come out of the bathroom. I'm not looking for a fight. They come out of the stall. I go in, I go to the bathroom, I come out to wash my hands. She's lost her purse. I have a jacket on, I have a sport coat. So the guy tells me, he's like, I'm going to have to search you before I let you leave the bed. I'm going to have to search you before I let you leave the bathroom. That doesn't go over well. Now, I wasn't training jiu-jitsu back then. It was a long time. I've been training jiu-jitsu for 10 years. This is pre-jiu-jitsu. But I kind of, I always had a heavy bag in the house, and I thought I knew what I was doing. And always, did a little bit of just on my own, like from YouTube, like learning how to kick and shit like that. I was like kind of self-taught. And I thought I was a badass. And he winds up throwing me up against the wall. And I'm like, I'm in a fucking fight on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I push him off. I punch him. He falls down. He falls into his girlfriend, wife, whoever she was. She falls on top of him. So now he's on. Which way did it go? He's on top of her. He falls on top of his girlfriend. The bathroom attendant went out and got security. Security comes in and just sees him. So they look like two freaking weirdos, like they're fighting. And the big ass, this guy used to be he was like a pro, like wasn't a WWE pro wrestler, but he was like a pro wrestler. This guy was like almost 7 feet tall. He was freaking huge. He looked like a house. He picks the guy up. Now, when he picks the guy up, that guy's hand goes back. The bouncer's got a ponytail. So his hand goes back and his finger gets caught in the guy's ponytail. So he's picking this guy up like a rag doll, but the hand he went, ugh, and his hand gets stuck. So the bouncer,
not even like on purpose.
Not even on purpose. The bouncer thinks that
pulling his hair.
He's pulling his hair. So the bouncer's being extra rough with him. They get him out. They go downstairs. He starts fighting with the cop, the Seminole cop.
You do not.
They take him down. They take him down, and the guy smashes his face on the sidewalk. So now this guy has been. I hit him and knocked him down. The bouncer has treated him like a rag doll. The cop drops him on his face. That guy wound up being. I don't remember his exact title. He worked for like the sports department. Like he was supposed to be like head of like the sports department at FAU. and like the cop had to come to my house to get my statement later because he's like, listen, I dropped this guy on his face. He's trying to put in a complaint. Can you give me a statement? Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that was the last time I had a fight. I was, again, pre-jiu-jitsu. And the thing is, once you learn how to fight, like you're not looking to get into fights, right? You're avoiding. You get into a fight, you're going to get, as soon as you know how to train, I mean, it's immediately like if they find out, you're going to get sued, you're going to get in trouble.
Real liability.
Do people try to test you when they know? I mean, a female may be a little bit different than the guys.
There's different stories about self-defense, but like when you say that you cannot use jiu-jitsu, we're talking about jiu-jitsu, about pulling guard. We're not talking about jiu-jitsu on your stance, okay? And let's speak about like a self-defense situation that happened in Brazil. Do you guys know Poliana, right? The MMA UFC fighter? She beat up a guy, but she had to use some strike. The guy tried to like take her stuff and reel. She damaged his face.
I saw that on social media.
Yeah, she beat his ass.
She beat his ass. And later on, it's on her page.
Is that Poliana Viana?
Poliana Viana, yeah. Vieira or Viana. I'm not really sure, but she's very cool. And anyways, then I go back to the story, but there is other like viral videos on IG, in general YouTube, that you see people arm dragging, took the back and choke a shit out of them. You know,
I love when I see like a woman holding like a guy down, waiting for the cops. Like there's a million of those videos. Like somebody tried to mug somebody. Yeah. There's one like she's got him like in a reverse, like a reverse triangle, and I'm like, yeah.
There's one that
jiu-jitsu doesn't work.
Yeah, there was one that I saw that the lady was getting to her garage and was this automatic door goes up and down like this, and this was on YouTube too, I believe. And I see the videos, I'm looking, and I'm like, and the guy, the gate was going down, and the guy went in as she was parking. She came out of the car, and the guy came, and she started to like kickboxing him, bro. The guy started run. Wow. Yeah, and like talking about self-defense. One time, I think I was already doing MMA, and I think one of my 2 last fight wins. And it was here in Fort Lauderdale a while ago, many years ago. And I was like, I'm gonna go out with my friends, and my girlfriends were with me, and there was just two friend guys with us, and we went to a club in Fort Lauderdale that I do not remember the name, but I know it's in the main like Fort Lauderdale downtown.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's right in the corner there. Sometimes have like MMA events there as well, like the Combat Night.
You're talking about the
Sway
old
nightclub.
Chili Pepper.
Yeah.
No. She's
Oh,
talking about
Sway.
the old Voodoo.
The old Voodoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went there.
I've
It
been there. They
was-
do a lot of competitions
I
there
worked
still.
there. a lot.
So it was packed, and back in the day, there was no yet like MMA fights there. It was just I went just to celebrate, and I got really drunk, and yeah, but I was not drunk like falling, you know. I was just drunk, and my girlfriends and we were like dancing, shaking our booties, you know. And there was only 2 guys with us, so he couldn't like defend a bunch of girls, or like 4 or 6 girls. And then from the nothing, I feel like a credit card going right in my butt, and I was like,
Jesus.
I turned and the guy was here. I pushed his shoulder and he walked forward, so I tipped and he fell on his butt. Then everybody opened like a
circle.
a circle, and the
Mosh
security.
pit.
Dance off.
I was like, "What the fuck?" And then talking shit, and then the security came. I was like, "These guys harassed me." If I didn't know how to tip, I'm not gonna be able to do this. But I could like just go and choke him, but I didn't.
It's
I
Fort
know.
Lauderdale. You
So-
could have.
So
Yeah.
let me we're talking about your life specifically, but I was really interested, and I told you before the podcast that I wanted to talk about this. You understand what we're doing with Academy Safe. We had a little conversation about that. What is your experience as a female jiu-jitsu practitioner? I mean, we could talk about MMA too, right? It's kind of the same world. We're sharing that world. What has been your experience, your personal experience with training with men in jiu-jitsu? I know everybody's got a story, and you don't have to give names or name names or anything
don't
like
worry,
that.
I
But
never do this.
but I kind of feel like we're a bunch right now. It's a bunch of guys doing it, and we're talking about like who else we can bring in and help us with the organization. But it's a bunch of guys recognizing that there's this problem. From a female's perspective, are we wrong? Or is this as bad of a problem as we think it is?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I want to emphasize by saying I am a female and I'm feminist to a certain point, but I am in a male sport and I gotta be fair. So in the end of the day, if you ask me, I'm not a feminist. I am a fair person because I think you have to be, and you gotta see different perspective of the thing, but you cannot make excuse and perspective.
Okay.
And I'm 34 years old now. I saw a lot, and I'll never speak names or anything because my main focus is not compromise gyms or teams or coaches or people.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell that definitely is a cultural thing, and in general, I don't want to blame on culture, but I do want to blame on character. You know what I mean? And the
character of the people that are doing it.
character, exactly. And everybody knows right is wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when this happening, you see it's totally a red flag.
Yeah.
It is a red flag.
So, again, I don't want to name names here. I want to be careful because I don't want to offend anybody. But like we're having a conversation about a prominent martial arts gym in person, right? We've been having that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We've been sharing some stuff. It is a open secret. How do you say that? An open secret. It's just like everybody knows. Everybody knows. The second I started doing this, everybody know. I get messages every single day. I had a phone call from a woman that does Taekwondo that was like outing her. I'm like, that's not really what we are here at Academy Safe, but I've listened to everything she had to say. It's not necessarily what we do. We're not taking reports.
Yeah.
We're trying to be proactive and clean up and keep some of the dirtbags out. And doing the background check is going to hopefully, like, people are going to be a little scared and like, well, I'm not going into that academy or I won't do this. But then people can pick an academy. But it's this open secret. Everybody has a story about more than one coach that has done things that have been inappropriate. And this was kind of hidden for me for the first 6-7 years of my, like, I didn't see this. I was in the dark.
Yeah.
And then because of the female presence at my old gym and me we celebrated my birthday and a bunch of the girls were there. And they started telling me stories. They had a couple drinks and they started telling me stories. And I'm like, why are you still there if you know this? And then I was just like, this is before I was doing Academy Say. I was just thinking about, they knew that I was thinking about leaving because I had heard some disturbing things. So it just feels everybody, it's this open secret in this world. Yeah. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like everybody has a story. And again,
sad.
you know,
it's sad.
Everybody has a story about somebody that's done something.
I left my first coach over similar stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and any guy who's ever brought his girlfriend to the gym has run into it.
What do you mean?
I remember.
You mean like to train?
Yeah, no. Like my girlfriend wanted to watch me train once. I was like a good competitive blue belt. I had just started fighting, and in the 7 minutes that I was, you know, getting changed and coming out, there was dudes like up on the bleachers. Hey, you want to get some coffee? And literally, she's like, "Oh no, like I know who you are. You're friends with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who's your boyfriend? This is my boyfriend. He has a blue belt. I'm a champion. He can do nothing. It's okay. You can go out with me." And like, I'm right here.
By the accents, I can tell that
I know what he was saying. That was one of the worst Brazilian accents I've ever heard, but I knew that it was Brazilian.
It was kind of the best.
I pulled it back. I pulled it back. I didn't want to go too deep.
Now
We don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to offend the Brazilians.
I never get offended. I never get offended. You know, I've been living here 12 years, and my boyfriend, it's American, you know, and I see.
Does he train? Is he in all?
He did kickboxing when he was younger.
He better train.
He has to.
No, but it's not like the way you. It's always there's those jokes around.
Do the dishes, Danny. I don't know your boyfriend's name.
I've seen a photo of him mowing the lawn. He was mowing the lawn.
Yeah, no, he's the man of the house. You know, before I was the man of the house, but I'll tell you something. There is a big line of respect as far as me being a fighter, my boyfriend being my boyfriend. You know what I mean? A lot of people ask Daisy make the same jokes. I think it's funny. And like my roommates are my students. One of my students and the other one's friend, but she's also a fighter. And they, when they came there, one time Josh went and walked my mat with shoes. I was like, "Get out of my mat!" I was like, "You gotta."
Oh, like at home, your mat's at home.
Yeah,
Hey, there is no shoes.
No matter.
I don't care where you are, where you came from.
I was like, "Get out of my mat!"
Let me say, I have my dog trained. I put my mats in my living room. My dog is trained. He does not walk on the mat.
No,
good.
He's a puppy. No. He's only like a year and a half old. He knows. He gets to the edge. He sits. And I come to the edge. I pet him. He will not step on the mat.
Oh, dude, my
I
dog
actually
gets
didn't.
on the mat,
I didn't have to train. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he doesn't like the mat. He walks around. He knows. But then, like, if he does go to, but I didn't really have to train him on it. He just is like, yeah, I'm probably not supposed to step on.
I make adults. I make guys put on shoes, walk to the bathroom, wash their feet where people can see, and then come back. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't have ringworm.
Yeah.
I've never had an outbreak of something in this room, and we're going to keep it that way."
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So let's go back to the boyfriend. So let me. Does he train? I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. But is he trained? Is he a martial artist?
No.
Does jiu-jitsu or anything?
Okay, I'm gonna tell his name. His name is Joshua Flosser. He's an engineer. He's my prince.
No. We gotta cut that. We gotta post that.
But no, he didn't know how like a little bit worked, but he's a big MMA fan. He knows more MMA than me, and probably he can keep a conversation for all you guys here for sure. And I'm like really like kind of don't know too much. You can tell because you talk about a bunch of UFC fighters there. I'm like, that
happens to me too.
I was like, I don't know everybody, so I'm very honest with. But my roommate Bernie was at my house, and she saw Josh walking the mat and saw my reaction. She's like, whoa. You gotta say os. He's like, I'll never say os. I was like, you don't need to say os, but you need to get out of my mat now. I was like, do never. Did you see the sign there? I made a sign with my own hands. I was like, do not walk shoes in the mat. I put it big in the garage. I don't like. I'm not a person that I want to like somebody to bow me. I don't usually tell people to go push up and stuff like this. But I do threaten. I say, hey, do this. And I'm big with like the whole basically hierarchy of jiu-jitsu. I am old school / new school. You know, I'm gonna go to my 3rd degree black belt, and I trained my whole life with Rodolfo Vieira, you know what I mean, and like Teodoro Canal, Júlio César Vieira in Brazil, like all those people, and they're very old school.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew that I was a new generation because the way I taught the drilling part and stuff like this, but I do really, really old school about like matching stuff.
Do you try to get him to train? Do you train him, or do you show him stuff?
But
or
I don't push too much.
It's not his thing?
He likes it.
Yeah,
he wants it. But he works a lot. He wake up like 3:30 and go work.
How did you guys meet? How did that happen? Because you would automatically assume like you're so into the way like you're gonna wind up meeting somebody that fights.
It's okay, no. So we met on my last try to go to Bumble.
To what?
Bumble. It's like a
dating app.
It's a dating
app.
Oh,
Bumble.
Yeah, Bumble. Yes, and that was the last try, and we met in 4th July 2 years ago.
Okay. All right.
But he got catfish before me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did, because I told him to meet me at El Camino and the Array, and before he got catfish there with a fat lady that was skinny. I'm gonna tell the story to everybody, baby. And he thought that I was catfish too.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
did he know that you in that situation? Are you talking that you're a fighter, or do you mention the UFC?
No, I didn't even advertise this on my when I used to be, because I'm no longer. We're gonna get engaged soon, but anyways, I never. And when I told him that I just met him, I was gonna fight Contender, he's like, whoa, you MMA fighter? I'm like, I'm a big MMA fan, and he's like, I used to call him MMA stalker, but he hates it.
So he had no clue that you were a fighter just from your profile, nothing?
No, okay. And you know, my first fight on UFC, I took him as my coach, and it was like a dream coming for him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
Do you have any fights coming up? Do you have a...
No, I've been trying to get in the fight since my last fight. Not yet. That's why I was fighting grappling, and I was
Is there anyone you want to call out?
Yeah, let's do
not
that.
Really.
Come on.
Not yet.
Josh, I want to fight you. No.
I'm still developing a lot of my striking. I have a new coach. I change a few things. Every fight I make different changes, but not to run for the main purpose. That's my grappling, you know. And I am getting so much better, and I'm so much more comfortable. Before coming here, I call a friend of mine, Foguinho, that he trains a fight sport, Deerfield Beach of Jesus Cavalcante. And I did the same rounds that we do on Friday, because we spar, and we did like 19 rounds of 2 minutes. And we started boxing, kickboxing, MMA, and repeated 3 times, like a 5 minutes round. And then like 30 seconds each, resting in between. And then we did another 9 rounds, wall, defensive, offensive, countership. We did, and like we beat each other before we come here, and I came running, but it was like fun, you know. Yeah,
that's good, man. I'm excited to see your next fight. What's your record in the UFC now?
It's 1-1.
1-1. I thought you were undefeated. Oh.
Yeah, I have a funny story about my Contender fight. I got to Contender. I had like 4-1, and they accepted me to fight there, and I got a striker, girl from Brazil. And I won 2 rounds, and I lost my last round. I was so nervous. And then I fought my first round against a grappler striker, and I won by unanimous decision, I believe. And my second match, they offered the same girl for the Contender. I became better, so she did, and she won the 3 rounds, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It's the hardest championship in the world. I'm on the top now, you know. I just gotta keep up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congrats! I watched the Contender Series fight.
It was crazy.
I gotta watch it. I interviewed her. I interviewed her. So I was glad to see you there. Congratulations on making it to the UFC. I hope to see like real big things from you. And
for sure.
You're always welcome here to come before a fight, or you got something going on. The Beach Jiu-Jitsu. Let's talk. Again, when you've got, maybe before the next one, and we can help you guys promote again and do that stuff. So Always welcome. You know,
Yeah, thanks for having
once
me.
you come in, it's kind of like family. Like, just let me know. Send me a message. Hey, we got something going on. We'd like to come and talk. You got to get me in advance though, because it does get filled. We do get filled
That's
up. Now,
okay.
I'm only doing 2 podcasts between the marketing company, Academy Safe, and the podcast. I almost always just did 2, maybe 3. But now it's kind of got to just be 2 because there's so much going on. And then it gives it a little, each episode, some time to get some ground. Like, instead of it, like, we just launched one today, which we normally launch by Wednesday. This one will launch by Wednesday of next week. So I like to put a little bit of distance before them so that they can get their own legs. So it's usually not back to back like this one will be. But I know we want to get this one out so that you get a little bit.
Excellent.
We'll do lots of promo. We put at least like 7. We do it like, we cut about 7. Christian will give us like 7 reels, cuts from the episode. And then I have my team. They'll probably do a few more and put out. We'll ask you to collab. We'll invite you to collab. So, you know, make sure that collab. So it's on both of our pages, you know, all that stuff, right? So, we'll promote and we'll post as much as possible.
Awesome.
Let me give you a minute. We'll start with Jed. Go ahead and give everybody the Instagram if you want to give out. This is like your time to shout out the Beach Jiu-Jitsu again. Give them the Instagrams, any Instagrams you want to give. Shout out anybody that's involved, sponsors, anything, or that you want sponsors. This is your time.
All right.
And which camera is his?
That's my specialty.
This is your green camera. You
All
can
right,
talk to
I'm
that
ready.
one right there.
Okay. I'm Jed with Beach Jiu-Jitsu again. I just, I'd like to thank Talita. I'd like to thank you guys for having us here.
Yeah, man.
Giving us time to talk about the event. I have to thank my fiance, Milena. She helps out a lot.
Hey, Milena. You've been so patient. Were you sleeping?
in
I
the
didn't see
background.
you. Were you sleeping over there? Did you fall asleep? I'm sorry. We bored you. We bored her.
Yeah, and I'd just like to thank everyone for checking out the page and, talking with us. Again, it's Instagram, it's Beach Jiu-Jitsu Federation. The YouTube is Beach Jiu-Jitsu International Federation. The event's December 29th at Hollywood Beach. If you're not competing, come out and check it out. Watch it. It's an exciting event.
And let me know, like I can give you a couple intros of like other podcasts that I work with or I'm friendly with. We share some, hey, have this guy on. I have this guy on. They're really interesting. There's a good one. Biz Jiu-Jitsu, Elbows Tight, Roll Science. We just had on last week. He's a newer podcast, but look, just being on there and then having the content is super valuable. So we can make some introductions. I mean, you could reach out to them yourself. They're very friendly and would be totally open to talking. But if you want some intros, I usually just open up an Instagram chat. Hey, meet Jed, meet Talita, have them on.
That'd be definitely cool.
So it might be a little late to get stuff done and launched now, scheduled and launched before this one. But get in touch with me a month or 2 before the next one. And then make some intros, and you get do a little promo run, like you would do. So
Excellent, I appreciate it.
Talita, go ahead. What do you have sponsors? Shout out your sponsors. Do you have a?
Yes,
I should
do.
prepare people and say, hey, bring a list of your sponsors so you don't forget anybody.
No, I have everything in mind.
Okay.
I would like to thank Zebra Athletics. I would like to thank Albino and Preto, my main sponsor, grappling sponsor. Sure Raw. I just thank Jed for the opportunity and you guys to get us last minute. I'm glad that you guys being very successful.
Thank
and
you.
Things to change. And I'm also glad that we're here live this time. We're
Yeah, very
not
cool.
in a camera. And I'm
We did
home.
Zoom. We did the Zoom the first time, right?
Yeah, we did the Zoom, but it was funny because we did this shrimp video, and for me it was the best. You got a shrimp. I want to bring in phrase what he said, guys. If you guys have interest in fight the Beach Jiu-Jitsu, please go on Smooth Camp. Just looking for Beach Jiu-Jitsu, you will find. If you are black belt, and we had a lot of big names reach out to us out of town. But if you are, for any case, gonna be in Florida for the holidays, the event happened on the 29th, so we'll do our best to accommodate you and get us going, But if anybody has any type of sponsorship or anything that would like to add, we are always open. I'm the one's gonna be asking for the sponsorship. I'll definitely dry you out after this. I'm tell me everything.
I told her, I said, there's some sponsors on the show that I really like. You can talk to them. And she's like, oh, what are they? So
No,
I
I said to him that I was gonna first see how this go, and I'm I'm gonna reach out to all of them for sure.
Every single one of my sponsors that are in the, the announcement. Yeah. If we were just on the podcast, we're doing this. Everybody is super open. Nobody's just gonna say
no.
I mean, it's sometimes it depends. Some of them will give products. Some of them can give product, and I can't speak for them, but they have an open ear, and especially UFC. The people recognize that and say, oh, well, yeah, maybe this is a good opportunity to work with somebody. So don't be shy. You don't ask, you don't get. You can. Don't wait for them to reach out to you.
Well, I think Lahil, I recently had a shoulder surgery, so I was looking at them online, and I feel like, that's not just a sponsor for you guys, but it's a company that could really help me get better and get back on the mat sooner.
Reach out.
When I look at your guys' sponsors and just some of the sponsors in the industry, I mean, they fit the industry.
Yeah.
That they're in. So, yeah.
So it's something as simple as just letting them know I was just on the Jiu-Jitsu Dummy podcast. They're probably going to hear this. They're going to be, they'll have an open ear. You guys got to have the right pitch. You got to. I can't say that they're absolutely going to do something, but they'll very likely give you an open ear. And then again, sometimes some of our sponsors give lots of. I mean, I'm floating. I got like a box of glasses at home, and I just bring like a whole bunch of stuff in different sizes. Make sure I have different sizes in my little box of gifts over here. But yeah, man. Reach out, and anything that we could do to help. I mean, we're strongest with coming on and giving you the content and posting, and just make sure you spread it on social media. Definitely, this is a little close to the event. Next time if we do it like a month before, gives it at least 3. If we film a month before, it gives it 3 weeks of life where we're posting every week. So it's not like posting back to back all day every day, but it's like I could post 2 this week, 2 reels, promo. Like
you guys do a great job with keeping your content overlapping. Like we might have filmed a show 3-4 weeks ago when it came out, but we're now 5-6 weeks down the line, and you're still getting bumps back.
Yeah. So we've actually for all 3 of my brands. So for Black Belt, for Academy Safe, and for Jiu-Jitsu Dummies, I have somebody who posts 3 times a day for each brand, and it's just done like the amount of sponsor requests, guests, and just for the marketing company or for Academy Safe, just people like, hey, I want to learn more. Can we have a meeting? I want to sign up my academy. Like all that has been happening. Obviously, you post once a day versus 3. You get getting more. We actually took McDojo, Rob from McDojo. It was like, I want the goal to be to post 3 times for Academy Safe. And I told my people, I said, let's do that for all the brands. So I have one girl that just does that now. It's actually my daughter's half sister is our social media manager. And she's her priority is to do that. And then she does our, for the marketing company, she does it for our clients. So we're actually also hiring my daughter's other half sister. My daughter has 3 half sisters. Different dads, right? So we say half sisters. So I have to explain it when I'm talking to a client. I'm like, this is my daughter and her sister. They're like, what? What? Wait a minute. So I say half sister. So I always have to explain it. But she's got 3 sisters. So 2 of them are going to be working for us now. One is already working. So my family business has turned into my daughter's family business.
That's awesome, though.
So, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Better being a family.
I am slowly but surely handing over the marketing company to her to really focus on Academy Safe. That's where I love doing marketing, but now I love creating a new business and then being like, okay, here, run it. Now, I feed off of that.
Make sure daddy's check comes in the mail.
Yeah. That's exactly where we're at, hopefully. But I want to focus on Academy Safe, which is like near and dear to my heart. And I've got girls. I've got a stepdaughter. I've got my biological daughter. I would never want them to deal with some of the stuff that I've heard. And I just think, we're in this industry that's unregulated. And the way I explain it, this is a great way of explaining what we're trying to do. Rob gave this explanation, and I think if people understand this, where we're going and what we want to do is when you go to a movie and it's rated R, right? That's the people that film that, they send it to the Motion Picture Association of America and they give it a rating, right? Nobody's voted on that. It's not a government agency. It's almost like the IBJJF, right? The IBJJF came and said, we're the biggest organization, so we validate your black belt, right? And you got to do a background check and a safe sport certification if you want to, right? If you want to if you want your academy to be recognized,
registered,
you've got to do that. Somebody asked us recently, well, I'm registered with them. Why would I do it through you? Well, we're registering everybody and your staff. So even somebody who, the white belt coach, the blue belt coach, anybody above 18, we're doing everybody and the person that's at the front desk. That person needs to be, if they're in contact with your people, they're a staff member. We want everybody, not just the black belt who is maybe competing or has, right? So we're coming at it in a little bit of a different way, but as a dad of girls, I just never want them to deal with something like this.
So aggressively important.
Right, the Motion Picture Association of America, not a government organization, but people say, well, let's submit to them. And we all agree out here in the world that we're going to abide by their rating, right? Yeah. That's what we're trying to become. We're trying to, if enough academies join, then it becomes everybody's, you're not an academy safe.
Yeah.
You don't background, you're not background checking your guys, and it's working. People are doing it. And there's some people that, I might not ever hear from them and they might not ever do it. But if we in the industry make it like, oh, you don't, even if they don't, if I hear somebody says, oh, I do background checks already, I'm like,
hell yeah.
Great.
I do
that
background
awesome.
Check to rent a room in my house.
Yeah.
And I asked the background check, I was like, you need to give an ID. And then the first conversation I have, do you like the room? I was like, let's sit outside. I was like, do you have anything that you'd like to tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
she's sitting there like this.
To know.
Yeah.
And now I'm very clear. I was like, do you have anything to tell me? Because if you don't, I'm going to check you out anyway. So it's better tell me now and why. Because I'm not a judge of character, but I do. But I was like, it's better tell me what happened and I will judge you by what happened. You know what I mean? And you tell me why. But I also would like to thank you to be doing this, and even if it's New Year's, I think somebody has to do this. And I think it's a very innovation business. I don't understand why anybody thought about this before,
So let me say this. So there are some organizations that do the background check and the safe sport.
But not
Taekwondo,
everything.
but not your staff. So like the academy, the owner gets it done, and then that's it, right? But USA Wrestling does a really good job of it. USA Wrestling, we have the same background check company, and we're using the same criteria as USA Wrestling, right? So it's any felonies, red flag, and then any domestic abuse and or any type of sexual abuse, you're not going to pass the background check.
So with Academy Safe, does it list like, oh, so-and-so got background checked, but has X on their record? Or
so what happens if they don't pass? Does it
So we haven't encountered yet everyone that's, so
most people know. And
most people know and know that they have a problem. If they have a problem, they're probably not going to do the background check. So now if it's an academy and the coach doesn't even know and he tells him to do it and that guy's stupid enough to go through the background check and then it comes up, I'm going to list that academy. I'm going to list the coach. I'm going to show everyone who's passed. I've got the first academy had 8 a coach and then 7 staff members. Everyone passed the background check. If somebody failed, we would list them and they wouldn't get accredited by us. If he came back and says, we've let them go, I would note this person didn't pass, was let go, and then I'll accredit them. But we also have a little bit of a reporting system there. Hey, public, students, if you see something, say something, send us an email. If there's a coach that's not on this list, or if there's a problem, let us know. So we've got to be a little bit of a policing agency, but this is new. Yeah. We want to just get those background checks, and more than anything, we need it to become culture. We need people to walk into academy, even the mother who doesn't know about martial arts. If enough people start to understand this, they're going to walk in going, and do you do background checks on everybody? Oh, you don't? Bye. We need that to become the culture.
Yeah, that's big because I teach kids twice a week, and I'm very, very educated with them. And I do try to speak as clear English and everything, but anytime that we do a game and I got to fix their clothes, I come to them, I was like, come here, honey. You excuse me, coach. So coach is going to touch right here. Yeah. Do you understand? Are you comfortable? This is very important because this is started from this stage to a bigger stage. And I've been teaching kids for about 15 years, and I'll tell you, this started there. Jiu-Jitsu and gymnastics are the biggest percentage of pedophiles in the industry, and this happens all the time. And I didn't talk about this when you asked me, but I don't know if you guys saw all the stories that going viral on social media. Big names of the new generation jiu-jitsu got pedophile by
somebody in
coach
Brazil. Right? There's some men, some adult men, black belts have come out and say they were molested by a coach
boys
in Brazil.
and girls,
right?
Boys and girls, and you don't see this only in jiu-jitsu. And thank God you're doing this, but you see in the church, you see in other place. It's like the worst, And I'm really glad you're doing this because it's not, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing just for the good of. You know what I mean?
Something has got to change. I don't have any kids in jiu-jitsu. My daughters don't do jiu-jitsu. They're older. They're adults. One's in college and 20. He's going to be 21. My daughter's 31. I don't have any kids. But, with things happening to women, adult women, and then hearing the stories about the kids, I couldn't not do something. It was very easy to just keep my mouth shut and just go to another gym and not say anything. I was so angry. I was in the shower. I don't want to paint a weird picture. Yeah. I was in the shower going, I was angry. Yeah. I was angry. I'm taking a shower and I'm like, how can we ensure that your academy is safe? And that was it. And I was just like, is your academy safe? So we bought the domains for, is your academy safe? And I went to Rob and I said, can we do this? Does this make sense? And he's like, Milton, people have been after me for years to do this because he's reporting on it after it happens. And people have been like, but how do we stop it? And I presented him to Milton, people have been asking me, he's like, what do you need from me? And I was just like, I didn't expect that reaction. Do you want to be on the board? Do you want to be on the board? And that's the conversation that just happens over and over and over.
It's the same thing you were saying earlier. If you don't ask, you don't know.
But let me tell you something. I don't want to interrupt you. You said something very quick, briefly, that you had people, girls, calling you and reporting. Cool. You don't have a number to report, but you should get this report number and have easy access. Hey, I am not the report number, but you can call this number.
So we do. We have a resources page. So I told the girl that called me yesterday and was telling me about her Taekwondo coach, a woman, an adult woman, but she's like, I've left Taekwondo because every time I go to a new academy, I'm seeing these bad things happening with men and young kids and girls. She's like, I'm coaching people in my garage. She's like, I'm going to get licensed. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to open my own academy because I'm sick of it. So she left Taekwondo because she's just like, I can't be around this. But I pointed her to our resources page. And what I'll tell anybody that if you've got somebody in immediate danger, dial 911. If you want to report a coach, go to our resources page at academysafe.org. Just click on resources, and there's a page there of, I think, close to 20 different places. We put U.S. Center for Safe Sport at the top. There's U.S. Center for Safe Sport, and then there's a reporting. We give you the link, a separate, it says U.S. Center for Safe Sport, to report somebody again. Click on that one, and it takes you to a form where you can report a coach, and then go from there. But again, ultimately, what people don't want to do and what scares people, and number one, adults are scared about I'm gonna get my belt, and people are gonna say that I'm a big mouth and this and that.
Look, I am big in self-defense, and I try to emphasize the self-defense for women, and I'm not just trying to do a self-defense in the street. I always approach, look, we have many type of self-defense. We're typical ones in the street, beloved ones at home.
Yeah.
And self-defense is not just because my coach is going to give me my belt. It's because this person doesn't know how to react.
Yeah.
And a lot of people not going to be confronted because their personality. And they let time pass because they're afraid. They're afraid to give a reaction and afraid to see how this person is going to reaction. Is he's going to be more what's the call? Like a narcissist, Mm-hmm. And there's people that can't face this reality, and most of women that can be confronted now, the first thing when you bully them, because bully is the first step of being a pedophile, and you try to overpower and to try to make this person small so you can eat on their fears.
You definitely did the Safe Sport certification because they talk about that a lot. They talk about that grooming,
because most of the women get I am afraid. I don't know how to react. I don't have a voice. The first thing that I teach for kids and self-defense in general, it's boundaries and have a voice.
Yeah.
Because you got to have a voice, because otherwise this is going to happen. Bullying is the first step of being sexually abused.
I've been the girls that have said stuff to me, again, if it is like somebody's in immediate danger, you need to dial 911. And a lot of people, again, when it's morally wrong, you can leave. You're like, I tell people, vote with your dollars, like, vote your conscience. You've got to, maybe leave. Maybe this isn't the right gym for you. But we got to leave it there. We got Christian's got a date. So, we got to.
Can we get Christian on the camera?
I think there's a.
Because we talk about him a lot.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude, right? I mean, it's like, he's not my type.
Did he meet his date on Bumble?
He's not my type.
Did he meet him on Bumble?
He's lucky because there was no camera pointed at him.
Yeah, we got to turn. He could turn one of those around. He could turn one of those around and get on here.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
I've been training jiu-jitsu for 4 years. In 4 years, I got hurt 6 times. I received stem cell injections in my wrists, elbows, shoulders, both knees, and I got stem cells recently injected in my left index finger. After a week and a half, I was right back at it, going the way I like to go at it. At Lehil Biogenics, they're friendly, they're patient, they answer all the questions you might have. Educate yourself. Call Lehil, ask about stem cells, and see where it takes you.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
So, I got to just we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me just do a couple of quick shout outs here. So check out BioPro at bioproteintech.com. You get $30 off with code JJD on regularly priced kits. BJJ Box is with us again and also helps support Academy Safe. So check them out at thebjjbox.com and get $20 off your first order with code JJD20. They've gone to quarterly boxes. You can check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. You can hit our link tree and you'll get Academy Safe. All of our sponsors are there. We even list the coupon codes for any of the sponsors that have given us a coupon code. You can check me out at Uncle Milty BJJ on IG, and I'm not going to forget about you. Hey. Go.
Hi. If you are in the North Palm Beach area, check out American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens, where you can train with me and my guys. If you're looking for really dope jiu-jitsu gear, look out hammerjujitsushop.com. And if you are a promoter looking for either cutmen, an entire team, or commentary, holler at your boy. I got you covered.
He's really good. He's good. Great commentator. He's good. So thank you for watching and listening, everybody. We're going to say goodbye to that middle camera. Thank you for watching and listening. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu. Us.